Agriculture more broadly was one of the talking points with the ambassador of the Netherlands. As well, when our reporter, journalist Tamta Jijavaza conducted another interview for the ambassadorial rubric, let me say so, of the checkpoints, as we call it. Yeah.
Yes, Georgian, the most important point related also to doing business in Georgia, courts and their importance was also emphasized in the interview, which we can watch now.
Agriculture, startups and entrepreneurship, these are the main areas. We often hear that are funded by and supported also from the side of Netherlands. So what is your priority? What is your own, as an ambassador, priority in Georgia? Which sectors, I mean?
Yes, well, I would like to take that question as a larger question. We have really two big priorities, which are the umbrella for many other things. And one priority is supporting Georgia in its reform process, democratization, implementation of what's been agreed between Georgia and the EU in the association agreement. And this has many specific reforms. Judiciary, rule of law is one of them. And reforms in this area have been done and are ongoing. And this will also further improve Georgia's investment climate and attractiveness for investors and trade. And so we do support that by supporting many civil society organizations, startups, as you said, but also indeed agriculture, because we happen to be quite good at it. So indeed, it's a priority. It speaks to my imagination very much.
You already mentioned agriculture. That is a really successful sector in Netherlands in terms of, especially in terms of dairy products, producing dairy products. So what can we learn from you and what potential does Georgia have in this regard?
Well, that's another one of my favorite topics. I would also wanted to mention that apart from agriculture and dairy, indeed, we also have been active in architecture and design. For instance, there is a Dutch design company which is called UN Studio, and it has designed a couple of years ago this new transfer terminal and air traffic control tower at Kutaisi Airport. And there is a Dutch invested company in Batumi, oil print by a Dutch company Oranje Leeuw, Orange Lion, which does design and packaging, and it provides lots of local employment, which is really, so I wanted to mention that. Dairy, I'm really a big fan because a couple of weeks ago I visited, for instance, White Farm, which is a dairy farm in Kajetti, in the village of Klemo Bodbe. It's a very big modern farm. It was established in 2016. And in summertime, it produces 10,000 liters of raw milk for the domestic Georgian market. And the whole farm is Dutch design, Dutch technology. But the beauty of it, and I'm really impressed by that, is that it offers local employment and shares expertise with local farmers. It also has a circular way of working, like cow manure turning into fertilizer, which goes to local farmers. And what also I really like is they have available internships for students from the Agrarian University. So I like very much these kind of things. That's not just us coming, but working together in the local community and building something to the benefit of local producers. So that's the very big farm. And there's also smaller initiatives, also in dairy, like demonstration plants, all aimed at improving quality of milk so that Georgia does not have to import, for instance, milk powder in winter, but can produce good quality milk in Georgia, which are fine with food safety standards and which enables Georgia to produce also locally, which is really important, as we've seen in the pandemic, to become self-sufficient in that and to be able to export as a regional agriculture hub. So I visited the farm. Seeing it with your own eyes really makes you very enthusiastic.
So what about our traditional, like original type of cheese? For example, in Georgia, we see a lot of Dutch and French and or maybe Polish cheese in the supermarkets. So what about, for example, Georgian Sulguni on European market? How do you see the potential of our dairy products, especially like traditional ones?
That should have a huge potential. When I speak about the Dutch market, we are huge cheese lovers and we're always curious about other cheeses, eager to try other cheeses. And Georgian cuisine is very popular in the Netherlands. Also because, I should say, before the pandemic, many Dutch tourists came to Georgia and they will come again. And they're in love with Georgia. So, and with the Georgian products. So they would be happy, I think, to be able to taste them at home. It would have to, in order to be able to export dairy products, it has to be in line with food safety standards, quality control, and that is then linked to the DCFTA between Georgia and the EU. And we want to help Georgia in this process. So we also have projects aimed at certification and food safety requirements. And there's also the Georgian wine. I would love to see the Georgian wine more in Dutch supermarkets because, as I said, the image is so great. People love these products.
Which sectors might be interesting for Dutch investors?
Well, when I look at the possibilities that are here, it's, of course, again, agriculture, but it's also logistics, because both Georgia and the Netherlands have this important hub function in the region that can be built on, manufacturing, hospitality. That could be because, again, also of the tourism interest, and also, I would say, environmental issues. We want to be more focusing on that, also given the effects of climate change and our experience in circular economy.
Dutch companies would have like communication with the embassy, yeah? So what kind of problems they see here in Georgia in terms of doing business? So what are their claims?
Well, I cannot go into details per company, but what in general they appreciate, I would still like to start from the positive angle, is that many reforms have already led to a more business-friendly environment for investors, like the simplified tax and customs, the competitive operational costs, the strategic location, and good international ratings. What comes up in conversations is the importance of an independent judicial system. When investors come to any country, including Georgia, our own, they're looking for a safe environment for their investments. That if a dispute comes up on property, in a commercial case, that these disputes are being handled by an independent judicial system in a competent and fast and reliable way. So that I would maybe highlight in answer to this question. Independent judiciary is really crucial in many reforms, including in this one. And it's also, again, part of the association agreement between Georgia and the EU. And this is a particular angle in which we would also like to continue supporting Georgia and encourage substantial reforms for the benefit of the investment climate of the people in Georgia itself. It's really very important.
We are BMG. Follow and subscribe for business and economics news.